Hello inhabitants, I am here today to finally announce the prize winners for the Oddworld Creations Fan Celebration. But I know I'm not the person from Oddworld who you want to hear speak. It's fine, I know my place. So, of course, the one and only Lorne Lanning will be talking to me about some of our favourite entries. So in this video, we will be announcing our top 4 pieces, one of which is the winniest of winners, and a few shortlist and honourable mentions too. So, let's get down to business. We've got 3 runners-up in our top 4, and we'll be talking about them in no particular order. First up, let's look at PinkuArt's Mudokon Blob Plushie and Advertisement.
I think this picture is really adorable, but part of the reason is the way she's squeezing it. It just looks like the Abe pillow is giving a really sort of charmed response. you know what I mean? It's kind of like my puppies do. When you hold them a certain way, they're just like, we're in love. This is so great. I'm getting squeezed. I love it. That's nice. So she does a lot of plushie stuff.
So PinkuArt makes like plushies, and they're just so kind of clean and just so kind of professional looking.
That looks pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
PinkuArt and Rupture Farms. That's great.
There is she actually made an ad.
Oh yeah?
This is Rupture Farms.
Great.
And this is our newest product, the Mudokon Blob Plushie. Looks as cute as a Mudokon Pop, but squishy and big and punchable. All of our 300 workers have earned a surprise vacation recently. So this is the only one left.
Hey, look at her setup, man.
I know, isn't it cool?
Leopard, day glow pink, leopard skin, and green leopard patterns. No, not leopard, tiger. She looks pretty organized.
Yeah.
Oh, look at those Soulstorm bottles.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like she printed them out and glued them on the bottle. It's kind of perfect.
Because she sent loads of process photos as well, and I absolutely adore process photos.
Oh, yeah. It always amazes me, and I'm always kind of charmed by it, too, is that people actually take the time.
Yeah.
And that's like, for me in my life, it's always on the hustle and trying to get new projects and doing whatever it takes, learning all these new things. Like, just usually just completely consumed, And it's something I look back, I go, I remember I used to do things. I'm like, yeah, I used to do that. It just feels like there's never any time anymore. Like everything is moving faster.
Yeah.
So I'm really, I really appreciate when I see people have taken the time, on the IP that we created and express themselves in these ways. I love it.
And I just love the idea of taking the Mudokon pop as a concept and turning it into this. It wasn't something that came up all that often in the entries as well.
Wow, that's hilarious. And the cat. Is a cat smacking it?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Abe. Okay, so she's pretty amazing.
I am obsessed with this plushie, and the addition of the ad video is so extra in the best way. You should totally go and check out Pinku socials and her fabulous creations, and maybe even commission her to make you something. I know I'm tempted. Next up is Queen Bee by Mockingbird.
Oh, wow.
It's just so sweet.
That'd be a good Christmas ornament.
Could put her on your top of your tree.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
She was an indication of a previous civilization that had mastered, kind of like our own world, that had mastered things that they couldn't explain in Abe's day.
Oh.
And that's why when he's looking at her, she's in kind of a time capsule.
Oh, wow.
And she's activated by she's very, 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 very old. And that's why when he has the bad karma, she just deteriorates. She's not a vampire, but she deteriorates in a way like that. Like the holy source that was keeping her eternal had been lost to Abe's bad karma.
Funny, I watched the bad ending today of Soulstorm.
Oh yeah,
and I don't like it. I don't like it when she's just going, and then little legs start coming off, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah. That was kind of our vampire moment.
Yeah.
But she's not a vampire. But
no.
Yeah, she was so old, and that was the good of it was kind of like, in various myths, the good of a world or a city would be reflected in something else, and that it's kind of like the picture of Dorian Gray or something, But yeah, she was meant to be that impossible thing. I wish we could have spent more time in the detail, because I really wanted it to be more detailed and almost like more machined than, let's say, what they found in Cleopatra's tomb. Like more exquisite, but almost microscopic, like impossible, so that it's kind of a miracle. I like look at the joints at the knees and at the elbows. But I like this shot right here with the, like, you're feeling the angel wings. He's in a fence. Very sprite-ish.
I just love seeing the bee in real life.
Yeah.
There's just something about that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking it'd be a really cool Christmas ornament. Right? The fairy lights and stuff like that. Yeah. Awesome. I love it.
We had a lot of sculpture submissions in this contest, but the way that Mockingbird created the bee just brought me so much joy. It's such a complex shape to create in real life, and I think her vibe was captured so beautifully here. Now I'll fess up for a second. I am bad at making shortlists. My list of favourites was not very short. We wouldn't have time to go deep into everything that I loved, but I did want to showcase some of my kind of long shortlist here. A long list, if you will. After that interlude, let's go back to our top 4 and the final runner-up. Creatosaurus Art submitted 3 separate sculptures and a comic. And while I should have narrowed that down to just one submission, I couldn't choose between these 2. So here's Creatosaurus Art's The Best Scrab is a Free Scrab and Paramite sculpture.
The thing I really like here is the scale of the Paramite is bigger than we could afford to have them in the game, and I always wanted them bigger. So right there worked. And it looks like if that's from the limited edition, Abe, then I think it's pretty cool that he built a diorama,
For him.
Yeah, and then the Paramite coming at him.
Yeah.
Now, on the Paramite, what I like is I like the inside of the mouth. It reminds me of Alien. It reminds me of a little Geiger-esque, And we never defined that very... like we never saw the inside of Paramite's mouth as much, but it was always like, someday we'll have to go back and pay more attention to what's in there. But maybe this is part of it. So thank you. Yeah.
It's interesting because if you're making a 3D sculpture, you need to get to angles that you possibly can't see in the games,
Totally,
so you've got to invent that stuff. So that's pretty cool.
Yep. And so what I would do, here, I'm just looking at this, right? So, like, if I were the director and this was the production designer and he came back with this mouth, I'd be like, ew, that's kind of cool, right? Like, we don't see it. But then each kind of, like a knuckle pad at where the fingers join the hand has, like, almost like, what is that under there? Well, maybe that is, like, what happens is that each of those little arrayed, but you see how they have, like, the 5 pads?
Yeah.
Right? But those could be like hooks come out of them, like spikes come out of them, like fangs of a tarantula.
Ooh.
It could be like you get in there and then you see this, it looks kind of soft and gooey, and then those
hooks you in.
Like sandworms. You ever see sandworms from fishing in the ocean?
Yeah. They
have these like really long, skinny pinchers. They're just black and nasty. Yeah, like that. So the hand opens up on a pyramid. Right? And then you're looking down its throat like that. And then all of a sudden almost like another hand, but of nails extrudes out of those like mouth glands, roof of the mouth glands. So it's like, and then there's another set of pinchers, but they're even nastier and sharper and thinner.
Yeah.
And more like sandworms.
Yeah.
Tarantulas have fangs like that too.
I'm terrified of spiders. This just sounds terrifying to me in every way.
They walk by through my yards, believe me. We have these other ones here. They're called jumping spiders. They're terrifying. They're huge. I love his diorama. You know, I'm curious if they're fake ferns or if he's building them as well. I like the scarification on the bodies, like it's been through a lot, and the aging of the nails. You know, the gradations and stuff.
Yeah.
But are you seeing this picture here? The stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the stomach, right? But it looks like a tired old man with a big chin, doesn't it? Wearing like a forked horn helmet.
Yes, I see it.
So that's
like,
what I see. So to me, it looks like, it's like a different character, which is kind of interesting because in the Steve Olds originally designed the Scrabs and the Paramites, when they would combine like a symbiotic creature, and that's what is the Shrike. But when I look at that Paramite, it looks like kind of like a Popeye figure, squinty eyes, a crowned, wearing a crown, like a grumpy king in a crappy throne.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we don't see the throne, but it feels like it's Grumpy King in a throne.
Yeah, it's got like his arms. Yep, I see it.
Yeah, kind of like the Rat King. It's the Paramite King.
The detail of the wrinkles and just it is beautifully done. Mm-hmm. It's pretty incredible.
I always like looking at fan art, and what it does for me is it kind of takes me back. It's, especially when I was really younger. I was just always drawing things I loved, you know, and especially if it was, games were barely out at that time, but it'd be more, out of comic books and more out of TV movies and Jason and the Argonauts. You ever see those shows? The series of movies from the 70s, Jason and the Argonauts? Ray Harryhausen, stop motion animation.
The fight with the skeletons. Like the skeleton army. Yeah.
Anyhow, so this all takes me back. He did a really good job. But this was the stuff, like I would draw it over and over and over, the stuff. And here, the diorama, I love the landscape. So really, really nice job. It's fun. I like the sign too. It's like Paramonia type of sign, yeah. Okay, so that was Paramite sculpture. The first thing I go to is the detail on that Scrabania sign.
Yeah.
Like it's all thorny, and the ropes and the leather. Like that was the first thing I went to, and then in this high contrast photo, it's almost like there's a squid, like an alien hugger face on the Scrab's face. You see the way it's stringated into the teeth? That's interesting. So there's little modifications there to the Scrab, making them particularly have muscular head in a weird way. Reminds me of Geiger. But look at those logs that are holding, the broken trees.
I know.
Is that real branches? What is he doing that with?
No.
I mean, my guess is he's like, he's got roots outside or something. He's able to pick it. But if he made that, that's kind of amazing. Really organic. So again, nice diorama. Oh, there we go. We get the side view. See how those, Steve Olds had built into the original design that you almost felt like there was fingers underneath the skin holding onto the forehead. This one really accentuated that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Like the bones. Yeah.
It's really nice to see the contrast between the kind of desert landscape little diorama and the kind of more jungly one for the two places as well, Scrabania and Paramonia. And it's just, it's cool that they're incorporated into this as well. It's not just a sculpture of the creature.
Yeah. Well, now
it's a whole little world.
Yeah, a whole little world. And I'm looking at the next one where we have the picture of the cactus and that would be cool. That would be cool to have on the property. Have something like that. Like out here, there's all these markers in the on the trails and all.
Yeah.
So you see these trail guides over. It'd be really cool to have some trail guides that look like that. But I really like those branches. Like I'm curious. Like how did he get those branches?
Yeah. Is that a real thorny branch?
Yeah.
I mean,
because it looks 100% organic.
If I was doing this, I would totally try and find a little bit of spiky tree.
Yeah, and then maybe you'd take toothpicks or something and cut them up to get the little thorns along the sides and glue them on. But the textures look so perfect, I'm suspecting something in that direction.
But also the paint job to kind of unify everything together, because obviously a lot of it is kind of, like sculpted clay, and then some things are like the string is string, but it's all beautifully kind of incorporated into the same look. It's beautiful.
Yeah, nice balance of the way these odd I'm forgetting the species of these cactus, but they always grow lumpy and odd. You know, they never grow with any uniformity. Anyway, love the diorama.
Before talking about our grand winner, I did want to give an honourable mention to a member of our community who must be the most prolific fan artist of all time. Various people entered with 2, 3, maybe 4 pieces, but Shade Meadows sent us 21 individual pieces of fan art. I only managed to fit about half of them into those highlight reels, so I did feel like Shade deserved a bit of a shout out here. Shade is also a moderator in our Discord server and a great member of this community, so I just wanted to send a bit of love their way. Okay, the moment you've all been waiting for, the grand prize winner. This person is one of the most creative people I have ever seen, and having seen a bunch of their fan art and creations over the years, it is evident that this person can apparently do everything. But this piece stood out to Lorne especially, and has been in my head for months. So here's Susanna Bennison's Mudokon Moon and Oddworld Fansong.
She was very nice about it too. It's a non-profit fan-based music featuring. I was 5 years old, staying with relatives for New Year's Eve. My cousins and I played the original Abe's Odyssey together for one afternoon. An afternoon I never forgot. I wasn't old enough to understand everything, but I was entranced. I could accurately recall every shot of the opening scene, cutscene 15 years later, even though I only saw it once. Whoa. Eventually, I rediscovered the series, tumbling down the Oddworld rabbit hole. When New and Tasty came out, I wrote a fan song called Light of the Moon. I've grown a great deal as a composer since then, so in honor of Soulstorm, I've decided to rework that old song into something I could truly be proud of. I hope you enjoy it. Oh, sweet.
I heard your tale when I was young, but I didn't understand. Long ago they say your world was lush and filled with life, but now it's wrecked with poison and you live under a knife. The wild world is choking, the natives bruised and broken. They say one day the sky was clear and you danced in the light of the moon, the light of the Mudokon moon. Corruption reigns and prophets cage just fuel the fires further. Prejudices.
Corruption reigns, prejudices, and undid systems feed on hate and murder. This is great.
To reverse the damage or heal the rift between those people who were split by the light of the moon, the light of the Mudokon moon.
Wow, what a beautiful voice.
No.
Take to the dark where no one sees. You'll know use if you're dead.
Take to the dark where no one sees. You're no use if you're dead. Isn't that true? Right?
Red, the throes of revolution. There must be a solution. You may be small, but you can save them all. Be the light of the Mudokon moon, the light of the.
Wow. So if she was 5 in 97, then she was 2 when we started the company. And she remembers this. So is this someone like with remarkable memory skills? Or you may find this interesting. I don't know. It's fun to reminisce on this. When I decided we were going to make it in rhyme, you know, some people didn't like that as much. They were like, oh, come on. They thought it was kind of childish or something. But I was like, yeah, but great old rhymes we still remember, you know, Little Miss Muffet and the 3 Little Pigs. Like, these were like, you know, horror stories, right? You know, someone's house is getting blown down.
Be the light of the Mudokon moon, the light of the Mudokon moon. Soon your whole world will know you will reach past stars. the light of the moon. You'll unite in the light of your moon.
And so I wonder, and I'm curious if we ask your opinion, do you think it was the rhyme that made it a bit of a song, so to speak? So it's a bit of a rhyme that led to, if you do that, then the cadence is more easily remembered than if it were just a script.
Because people on socials, when they reply to posts, they will go out with like the entirety of like the intro and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't think you'd remember all of that if it wasn't in verse, you know? Like you just wouldn't remember it.
We were actually, thinking that at the time. It's like, what makes it more memorable and more timeless? And we were like, let's do it in rhyme, so it might be fun to emulate.
That's awesome.
So I'm curious. She may come back and say, "Yeah, no, I have a photographic memory. I remember everything." Unlike you little people, you mirror things.
Yeah, couldn't be me. I forget everything.
Me too. Yeah, because you're so focused on new things.
Yeah.
She probably likes Roger Waters I'd be curious. Does she like Roger Waters as a lyricist?
We've got a lot of questions for Susanna during this video.
I'm always interested in like what.
Hopefully she'll comment on the video.
Yeah, what's going on with people? Like what's the genre you would call this?
Ooh.
'Cause it feels very
folk, possibly? I don't know.
But it feels very what do you call it when song lyrics are based on a culture?
Yeah.
I think it's more like lore.
Yes.
The lore of a story, the lore of a place. I think her lyrics are great. I really love them for the lore of Oddworld. It'd also be like a good black metal lyrics, I could see if you could take her lyrics, can we have other fans take those lyrics and do like a kind of a death metal version and then like a black metal version, right? Then like a country and western version.
That would be amazing.
Because I think the lyrics are great, and there's a lot of people that are sort of musically inclined. That would be funny because if I was just reading that lyric, I might think it was metal. Yeah. Right. So that makes me wonder. It's like this is how I can really piss people off sometimes. Be like, yeah, you try it too, her song. But I'd be really curious to hear like how a fan community would take those lyrics and then do it in whatever their style is as well. Susanna's really talented. Is she a pro?
I think so.
But I think I would hope that if I hired a writer to write a song about Abe's plight and the Mudokon moon, that the writer would come back with something as strong and creative and excellent as she wrote.
I mean, that's a big compliment. Coming from you as well.
Yeah, but it's really good. It's really creative.
It's really good. And honestly, I've been getting this song in my head all the time, ever since I first heard it. Yeah.
Well, this is what I was saying. I'd love to hear like different genres. If Susanna would allow it, you allow different people to do their own rendition. The one rule is you have to use the same words of the lyrics. Yeah. But you could do it whatever crazy ass style you want. Like that would be cool.
That should be the next competition.
Yeah, that would be fun, right? I think so. She might be, what? That would be terrible. Not my idea. Hopefully not.
A huge thank you to everyone involved, and congratulations to all of you who entered for being such talented, creative, and inventive people. I'm sorry we couldn't give everyone a prize, but I hope you enjoyed this process and seeing the highlight videos. I absolutely want to do this project again next year, although knowing what I know now, it should be a little bit better organised and completed in a more timely manner. So get thinking about what you might want to create and share all your fan art and creative Oddworld-inspired projects on social media with the hashtag OddworldFanArt, so we can see them and so we can share them with the rest of the community. See you next time!